Welcome to Kansas, and I'm going to teach you guys the song Chainsaw, or the line dance to the song Chainsaw by Family Force 5. The moves are taken from a place called Pine Cove. We learned it at summer camp as we've gone over the summers. So we're going to break it up into two parts, really. There's two kind of sets of moves. We'll call one the verse and one the chorus. We'll start with the verse move. So you're going to start with, you're kind of like cranking a chainsaw and doing a little step to the side. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then you're going to do that 4 times. That's the start of it. And then you're going to be cranking your arms. You're going to go 1 and 2 to the right, turn to the left, 1 and 2 to the left, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Then you're going to cross your arms and do a high step, 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to grab your axe and chop the tree, 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to look around, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're back to the start where you go back to the crank, 2, 3, and 4. Back to the crank, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Back to the high step, 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3 with the axe. Look around, look around. All right, that's the verse. I went through it twice. When you start the song, we're going to do the verse twice. Then we're going to do the chorus twice. We're going to do the verse 3 times, chorus twice, verse 3 times, chorus twice, verse twice, and then we're done. So after that, you're here, you're moving this way, and then you're going to go to the chorus. The chorus goes, bow to the knees and crank it like a chainsaw. Bow to the knees and crank it like a chainsaw. And then it's going to go, crank it, crank it, crank it, back. During the chorus, we're going to do a full 360. So every time we're doing the back, we're going to turn to the left. And then it's going to go crank it, and it's going to pause for a second, and then you're going to do back, back, and then you're facing backwards. You're going to go crank it, crank it, crank it. I'm sorry, we had to do the bow to the knees again. Bow to the knees, crank it like a chainsaw. Bow to the knees, crank it like a chainsaw. Then you're going to go crank it, back, back, crank it, back, back. I'll do it one more time for you. So, chorus, bow to the knees, crank it like a chainsaw. Bow to the knees, crank it like a chainsaw. Crank it, back, crank it, pause, back, back. Bow to the knees, crank it like a chainsaw. Bow to the knees, crank it like a chainsaw. Crank it, back, back. Crank it, back, back. After you get all the way around one time, you're gonna go right back into the side step and crank. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you're right back into that, and then you're gonna do that 3 times, back to the chorus, that 3 times, back to the chorus, that twice, and the song is over. Now we're gonna get to do the song. If you're not ready, back up the video and start over and learn the moves. We'll see you in a minute.
Yeah, they like the way I do this. When I crank it like it's wow. Yeah, they like the way I do this. When I crank it like a wow. Full throttle, heavy metal, set the bar, next level, wasteland, getting all janky, so blow. Let it go with them levels back, it's smoking just like the track. Shirt is over from all this sweat, catch my breath.
Chains out.
Now hear me roar, I'm an ace, that's Predator. From the Sycamore, let's get Skeletor.
Chains out. Chains out.
Watch it learn, watch it learn. Get that thing, crank it, yeah, snap, let's burn. Crank it like a chainsaw, blow to the knees, yeah, crank it like a chainsaw. Crank it, back, back, blow to the knees, yeah, crank it like a chainsaw, blow to the knees, yeah, crank it like a chainsaw. Crank it, back, back, crank it, back, back.
Chains out.
Fresh flannel shirt, country bumpkin, lumberjack your moves, aka Pop Bunyan, run, yan, 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 boys that call them the Jaws. I'm your boss, baby, crack it like a chainsaw.
Crank it like a chainsaw. Boom to the DJ. Crank it like a chainsaw. Crank it, crank it, crank it. Back, crank it, crank it. Back, back. Boom to the DJ. Crank it like a chainsaw. Boom to the DJ. Crank it like a chainsaw. Crank it, crank it, crank it. Back, back. Crank it, crank it, crank it. Back, back.
Came down, headhunter. Chop a punch, yeah, I'm a blade runner. Turned up, automatic. Full tank, you ain't gotta think about it.
Chainsaw, yank it, crank it, swing it, and you put it inside whatever you buy. Turn it all the way up and then you bring it. Top the block, no whistle. Wilderness, but I'm chivalrous. From Texas, but no massacre. Unless it's a beat, we killing it. Chopping concrete into C, watch some things fall. Bows to my knees, that mean I crank it like a chainsaw. Do it to these trees, I'll see these flames out. Burn them up to burn them down, now let me see you.
Chainsaw.
Crank it like a chainsaw. Boom to the DJ. Crank it like a chainsaw. Crank it, crank it, crank it. Back, crank it, crank it. Back, back. Boom to the DJ. Crank it like a chainsaw. Boom to the DJ. Crank it like a chainsaw. Crank it, crank it, crank it. Back, back. Crank it, crank it, crank it. Back, back.
Crank it like a
Chainsaw.
Crank it like a chainsaw. Crank it like a chain. Crank it like a
Chainsaw.
Crank it like a chain. Crank it like a Crank it like a chain. Crank it like a Chainsaw.
Thank you for joining me for this song. One of my favorites.